Hi everyone! So just to continue where we left off, creating the French-made Minion, designed by Jess Davies, also known as CraftLover17 on Instagram. And this is what she's going to look like. Again, to review, these are the supplies that you're going to need to create this Minion. In the video, I am using pink, so pick the color that you would like. In this part 2, I'm going to be showing you how to make the arms, the legs, how to attach the legs. We're going to be making the goggle strap, pick the color that you'd like to use, and we're making the headpiece for the top. Oh, and we're also making the tiny little pocket. So I do hope you enjoy, and let's continue. Round 1 of the arm, I'm going to show you to do one, and then you're going to pause the video to make yourself another. I am using pink, so it's up to you if you'd like to use black, and I will tell you when to switch. We're going to do 5 single crochets in the magic ring. So using the bottom part of your loom, take your first band and wrap it around the bottom peg 3 times. 1, 2, and 3. Now with your hook, you're going to pull 5 bands through, one at a time. So reach in, bring your band through on your hook, and you're going to bring your loop over the bottom loop and bring it to the side. Go back in for your second band to bring through, put the other end on your hook, and bring your 2 loops over. Bring it to the side. And just go back in and repeat. Bringing your band through, on your hook, 2 loops over. You want to attach a stitch marker to the band that's around your hook and remove off the loom. You should have 5 stitches. Move your bands around so that they're nice and even. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 is on your hook. Round 2, still using pink. If you're using black, we're going to start off with 1 single crochet, so adding 1 band to the first chain. Then we're going to increase 3 times, adding 2 bands to the next 3 chains. And then our last chain where our stitch marker will be, we're just adding 1 band. So at the end of round 2, you're going to have 8 stitches. So let's go in our first chain, and we're going to bring 1 band through on our hook and slide. Now the next 3 chains, 1, 2, and 3, you're adding 2 bands. So I'm going to bring my first band through on my hook and slide and go back in that same chain to add your second one. We just did our increase. Now the next chain with 2 bands. Bring your band through, slide, and go back in that same chain to add your second band. Now you'll see I have 2 chains left. So our next chain, we're going to add 2 bands. Go back in. And our last chain, where our stitch marker is, bring 1 band through. You can remove your stitch markers. You have 8, and add it to the band that's around your hook. You have 8 stitches. So we're not going to count where it's being pulled. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8 is on my hook. Round 3, our last round with pink, or whatever color you're using, before I switch to yellow. We're going to do 8 single crochets. So we're going to add 1 band to each chain. 1, 1, 1, 1, all the way around. So at the end of this round, you're still going to have 8 stitches. Don't go where it's being pulled. You want to start in your first chain, bring 1 band through, on your hook and slide. The next chain with 1. Continue all the way around. You should still have 8 stitches. Remove your stitch marker and add it to the band that's around your hook. For round 4, I'm going to switch to yellow, and I'm going to do 8 single crochets, but only grabbing the inside loop only. Our first band, we're going to do a slip stitch just because we're changing the color. So on each chain, you want to just grab the first little loop. That's your inside only, all the way around. Now, where you start, don't go where it's being pulled. We're going to grab our inside loop. Don't go through the whole chain. And we're going to bring our first band through all of the loops that are on our hook. Grab the end and just slide, don't pull it. Now, if you need to open them up so you can see the inside loop, one little loop, and bring your band through that inside loop on your hook and slide. The next inside loop only on our hook and slide. And just continue all the way around. So just the loop that's closest to the center, the inside part, the first little loop. Open it up. And the last one, you should still have 8 stitches. Remove your stitch marker and add it to the band that's around your hook. Now for rounds 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10, you're just adding 8 bands to each, one band to each chain. So in each pile, I have 8 bands. So I'm going to do round 5 with you, and then you're going to pause the video and complete the rounds. Your last band, which I will come back to on round 10, you're doing a slip stitch to tie it closed, and then we're going to add 2 sewing bands. So I'll come back for that. So starting with round 5, you're going to go in your first chain. Don't go in your little slip knot, and bring 1 band through on your hook and slide. The next chain with 1. The next chain. And just continue around until you get to the stitch marker. And the last one. Now, if you organized your bands like I did, you really don't need to be using the stitch marker. But if you didn't, you could always add another stitch marker so you don't lose count. And then you'll just continue around, not starting where you see my little slips, my C-clip here, not where it's getting pulled. You want to start in your next chain and then continue going all the way around until you get to the stitch marker again. So please pause the video and continue and come back to me when you're done. Now for our last band on round 10, we're going to close this off. So I'm going to go in my last stitch and I'm going to bring my band through all the loops to do a slip knot to tie it closed. So it's a little tug. And now you're going to add 2 sewing bands. So you're going to take your slip knot and bring it to the side and fold the arm in half. You want to catch 1 chain on one side and 1 chain on the opposite. So that was just in the center somewhere there. And I'm going to bring my band through and do a slip knot to tie it closed. And I'm going to bring 1 at the side here so it's even with this one. So going right at the side, catching the 2 chains on either, grab the end and slide and bring it off to the side. So now you can pause the video and make yourself another. Round one of the foot, I'm going to use pink. So this is where you would be using black if you wanted to. And I'll tell you when to change the colors. So I'm going to start off and I'm going to do 7 single crochets in the magic ring. So I'm going to use the bottom part of my loom, take a single band and wrap it around 3 times. 1, 2, and 3. Now bring 7 bands through, one at a time. Reach in, grab your band and bring through. On your hook, bring your loop over, bring it to the side. Go back in, your second band, bring through, on your hook and bring your 2 loops over. And continue. I'm thinking everybody knows how to do this one by now. So if not, you're just bringing your 2 loops over and make sure you're bringing your bands to the side. And continue. You want to attach your stitch marker to the band that's around your hook and remove off the loom. Move your bands around so that they're nice and even, and you should have 7 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7 is on my hook. For round 2 of the foot, we're going to add 2 bands to each chain around. So 2, 2, 2, 2, all the way around. I have 7 stitches, so I have 7 sections here. Each section represents a chain. So let's go in our first chain and add these 2 bands. You're going to take one and bring it through your chain on your hook and slide. You're going to go back in that same chain to add your second band. The next chain with 2. Back in. And repeat with the next chain with 2. You're going to do this all the way until you get to the stitch marker. My last chain with 2. So you should have 14 stitches. Remove your stitch marker and add it to the band that's around your hook. For round 3, we're going to increase on every 7th stitch and repeating this 2 times. So we're going to start off doing 6 single crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, adding 1 band. On the 7th, you're adding 2, and then you're going to repeat. When you get to your stitch marker, you'll be adding the 2 bands. So let's do 6 single crochets, adding 1 band to the first 6 chains. Now this is your 7th chain, so you're adding the 2 bands. Back in. And repeat 6 single crochets, 1 band. So I'm at my last chain. That's where you're adding the 2 bands. Back in. So right now you should have 16 stitches. Remove your stitch marker and add it to the band around your hook. For round 4, we're going to do 16 single crochets, just grabbing the inside loop only. So I'm just going to be grabbing the inside loop. Still using the pink color. On each chain, you're just grabbing the inside loop only. So I'm going to do 16 single crochets. So total 16 bands. Don't start where it's getting pulled. You want to go in your first inside loop only and bring 1 band through on your hook and slide. Moving on to the next one, inside loop only, and bring your band through. You're going to do this all the way until you get to the stitch marker. And the last one. Again, you should have 16 stitches. Remove your stitch marker and add it to the band that's around your hook. For round 5, we're going to do 16 single crochets, adding 1 band to each chain all the way around. So I have 16 bands and still using the pink. So I'm going to go on my first chain, not where it's getting pulled, and you're going to bring 1 band through. 16 single crochets. Next chain with 1. Next, you're going to continue all the way until you get to the stitch marker. The last one, you should still have 16 stitches. Remove your stitch marker and add it to the band around the hook. For round 6, we're going to decrease this round, and I'm going to decrease it to 14 stitches. So the pattern is going to be 4 single crochets, 1, 1, 1, 1, so 1 band in the first 4 chains. Then we're going to have 3 stitches. We're going to stitch those together. So I'm going to do my decrease. Then I'm going to do 9 single crochets in the last 9 stitches. So let's do our first 4, not where it's getting pulled. In the first 4 chains, bring 1 band through. Chain 1, chain 2, chain 3, and chain 4. Now the next 3 chains, I'm going to do an invisible decrease, and I'm going to stitch these all together. So in each chain, I'm going to do a slip stitch and then keep it on my hook. So let's go on my first chain and bring your band through your chain, put it on your hook, and just slide it. So you're bringing this middle band over. There's your slip stitch. Leave it on your hook. Go in your next chain, do the same thing, a little slip stitch on your hook, and just slide this band over. You should have 3 loops right now. Go in your next chain, bring your band through, slip stitch on your hook. You have 4 loops. So you want to just slide, and we just stitch 3 together. Now in your last 9 stitches, your last 9 chains, you're adding a single band all the way until you get to the stitch marker. So right now you should have 14 stitches. Remove your stitch marker and add it to the band that's around your hook. Now for round 7, I am going to decrease again, and at the end of this round you're going to have 13 stitches. What I'm going to do first is 3 single crochets, one band in the first 3 chains. Then I'm going to do an invisible decrease, so I'll be adding an extra band. Then you'll be doing 5 single crochets, one band in the next 5 chains, and then you're going to change to white. And the last 4 chains are going to be just one band in each. When I change the color, I am going to do a slip stitch today. So let's start with our beginning. In the first 3 chains, adding one band, not where it's getting pulled. Chain 2, chain 3. Now we're going to do our invisible decrease, so doing a slip stitch on each, leave it on your hook, and then pull or slide. So make a slip stitch, next chain, slip stitch and leave it on your hook, 3 loops and slide. Now in the next 5 chains, add one band. Now you should have 4 chains left, 1, 2, 3, and 4. We're going to change to white. I'm going to start off with that slip stitch, bringing my band through all of the loops, grab the end and slide. Now one band in each. Remove your stitch marker and add it to the band that's around your hook. For round 8, I'm going to stick with the white color, and I'm going to do 13 single crochets, but only grabbing the inside loop only. So when you start, you're going to start not where it's getting pulled. So I'm starting on this pink band here, and you're just grabbing the inside loop only. Bring your band through on your hook and slide. And you're going to do the same thing all the way around. So if you have to open it up so you can see, and bring your band through. Now this is where I changed to the white color before. Don't start off in your little slip knot. You want to start off in the chain, just grabbing that inside loop only. So you can see this is my slip knot. And this is my inside loop. And the last one. So you should still have 13 stitches. Remove your stitch marker, add it to the band around your hook. So we're going to continue with round 9 here, and we're going to do 13 single crochets. So you can see I have 13 bands, 5, 10, 11, 12, and 13. You're just going to add one band to each chain around until you get to the stitch marker. So not where it's getting pulled, start in your first chain and bring your band through your chain, on your hook and slide. And just continue all the way till you get to the stitch marker. You should still have 13 stitches. Remove your stitch marker, add it to the band around your hook. For round 10, our last round, I'm going to be changing back to pink. So if you are using black, you'd want to change to black now. The pattern is going to be 5 single crochets, so one band in the first 5 chains, followed by a decrease. So I'll be adding an extra band to do an invisible decrease. Then we're going to do 6 single crochets in the last 6 chains, adding one band. I'm going to start off with a slip stitch to change color. So don't go where it's getting pulled, go in your first chain, bring your band through all of the loops, grab the end and slide. The next chain, chain 2 with one band. Chain 3 with one band. Chain 4. Chain 5. Now we're going to chain 6 and 7 together. I'm going to go in my chain 6 and add one band, and I'm going to do a slip stitch, leaving it on my hook, going to chain 7, grab the band, do a slip stitch. You should have 3 loops and slide. Now you have 6 chains left. Add one band to each chain, a single crochet. Your last band, you're going to do a slip knot to tie it closed. Last band, bring it through all of the loops on your hook and slide. Remove your stitch marker, and you want to grab a little bit of stuffing. I don't have any more in front of me right here, so just grab a little bit of stuffing and you want to just add it in. Not too much, and you definitely don't want the shoe coming like this. We have a base, so you want it flat. And you don't need to overstuff. And you can do that to the other one and come back to me when you're done. Now we're going to sew on the legs, and I'm going to do both. You can see that my slip knots are in different places. That's just because of the tension or how I crocheted it, even how I stuffed it. So don't look at where my slip knots are. I'm going to take the first leg and I'm going to do this side. You're going to use 12 bands. because you have 12 stitches. Fold your leg here in half, and you're going to find your stitch that's in the center here. You're going to count 3 stitches. So move it around so you have a band in the center, and you're going to count beside it. 1, 2, and 3. And you're going to put your hook through. Now on the body, you want this part where we ended at the back, and our foot's going to go like this, so the tip of your foot should face the front. Here's your magic ring. You want to go right beside and grab the stitch. So like somewhere, just make sure you're even, and I'm going to grab right here, so right beside. Now you're going to bring your band through all of the chains that are on your hook, so the chain of the body and the chain of the boot or the leg. Grab the band and slide. Now I'm going to go towards the back. So I'm going to put my hook through the boot, and I want to grab the next chain. So this is where I was. I just want to grab the next little loop. So put your hook maybe straight down, and it will guide you to where you should grab. I'm going to bring my band through the chain of the body and the chain of the leg and put on my hook and then slide. And I'm just going to crochet around. So always going into the leg first, the chain, put your hook straight down, let it be the guide. And I think it wants to grab about here. Grab your band, bring it through both of the chains on your hook and slide. And continue around. Because I didn't do a complete round, you'll be grabbing one of the white stitches. That is considered one of your chains. Put your hook straight down and let it be your guide of where to grab on the body. The next chain, you're starting to turn. The next chain on the leg, put it straight down. On your hook and slide. The chain on the leg, put your hook straight down. Chain on the leg, hook straight down. And if you put that hook straight down, it will just kind of aim at what stitch you're supposed to grab. I don't want to grab the yellow. And your last band, make sure you do a slip knot to tie it closed. So you're bringing it through all of the loops, grab the end and slide. Always check, you could always undo it if you don't like it. And we'll do the next one now. Now for the other leg, again, 12 bands. This time when you're grabbing the chain, the third chain, you're going on this side. So here's my band that's going straight. So I have 1 chain, 2 chain, and 3 chain. I'm going to put my hook through. And the same thing, make sure your back, it's at the back here, your magic circle, and you're going to grab the chain right beside, so the next little chain. And bring a band through both of your chains on your hook and slide. Now this time I'm working opposite, I'm going towards the top, so I'm going to put my hook in the next chain on the leg, and I'm going to go right above where I started. So if you put the hook down straight down, it'll guide you where to grab. Bring your band through both of your chains on your hook and slide. And the next chain on the leg, push the stuffing in, and put your hook straight down, and it will help you where to go. This is now where I'm going to keep an eye on the leg just to make sure that they're even at the top here. The next chain, let your hook be the guide, straight down. I'm just going to check the other side to make sure it's even, and it's okay. Same thing, next leg. Put your hook straight down. I said next leg, next chain. I'm at the white band here. I'm going to do the same thing. Put the hook straight down. The next chain. And you're just grabbing where your hook is telling you to go. Next chain on the leg, you want to keep an eye. Now you're at the back, so it's all even. And I tried my best for this to be in the straight in the back, but that didn't work out. Keeping an eye on this side too. Let your hook. Next, always grabbing the chain on the leg first. This is my last band. I'm going to pull it through all of the loops and do a slip knot. Grab the end and slide. Now I have some space here in the suit, so all I'm going to do is just push the stuffing down. So that spacing will be gone. And now the slip knots on the leg, you just want to go through and just hide them. And you can do that to all of them. And just continue. And or you can do that at the end. Now we're going to make the headpiece. So pick the color that you would like. I will be using pink. What we're going to do is a chain of 50 and double band it. So I have in each pile 10 bands. So 2, 4, 6, 8, and 10. Each pile has 10, so you need 50 bands. I have an extra one here, so this is going to be my cat band. So with your hook, you're going to take a single band and wrap it around your hook 4 times. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Now, I'm going to do part of it with you, and then you're going to pause the video and continue. So I'm going to do 10 bands, single, stretch, double it, and bring it through and make a chain. This looks really, really neat when you're done. Like this just, this is a great little headpiece. I really like it. And you're going to continue. So doing a total of 50. So just stretch, figure 8, double it, and bring through. So I did 10, and now you're just going to continue. Same thing. I just divided it so you can kind of see exactly and understand what I'm doing. But you're just going to continue, and I will come back right at the end. So now you can see that I have my chain of 50. So this was 50 bands. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to make a little circle. So I'm going to attach my ends together by going through these 4 little loops that I had on the cap band. So I'm going to go through, but you want to make sure that you're not twisting. So you want to make sure that this is flat. Now I can see a big twist right here, so I'm going to take this off. Try to make this flat. Grab the end and go through. I'm going to check again. And that should be okay. It's not twisted. Now this was another band that I'm going to bring through all of these, grab the end and slide. Now I am going to do a reverse, and I'm going to go in each chain and do a half double crochet. I'm going to do Jess's half double crochet technique, and I'm going to use about 100 bands for this because I'm going around. So 2 bands are going to go through each chain. So maybe I'll just add a stitch marker just so you know where I'm at. So normally we would go this way. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go this way, so just reverse. So not starting in this first little chain that I'm at, I'm just going to go to the next one. So not where it's getting pulled. I'm going to go to the next one. And you want to make sure that each chain is flat when you're going around. So I'm going to go in. I'm going to bring, so I'm changing to white. And I'm going to bring my band through my chain and the other end on my hook and leave it there. So you can see a pink and 2 white. I'm going to bring my band through my first chain. So bringing this first chain over and on my hook and slide. Now you have to make sure that you're going in the same chain, like the same way. Don't twist. So I'm going to go through my next chain, bring a band through my chain, put the end on my hook. I have 3 white loops. Grab another band, and you're just bringing this loop over. Put the end on your hook so you have 4 loops looking like this. And slide. Go through your next chain and repeat. On your hook. That loop over, that first loop, and slide. Go in again, the next chain I mean. Bring your band through your chain on your hook, 3 loops. Bring your band through just this first little loop on your hook and slide. And you're just repeating. You're going to do this all the way until the end. I'm not going to do every chain here with you. I'm going to pause the video soon, but maybe I'll just repeat a couple more. Next chain, bring your band through your chain on your hook and leave it there. Grab another band, bring it through just the first little loop on your hook and slide. Next chain, bring your band through on your hook, 3 loops, grab another band, bring it through just the first little loop on your hook and slide. So you can see that I'm going through the same way of the chains, so it's not twisting. On my hook, bring your band through. Next chain, Bring your band through, on your hook, second band through just your first little loop, on your hook, and side. Next chain, one band through, on your hook, bring your band, and you're just bringing the first little loop over, on your hook, and side. And you're going to do that to all the chains until you get to the stitch marker. I will come back 2 stitches before, and our last band we're just going to do a slip knot to tie it closed. So now I have a couple of stitches left to do. I'm actually going to make a stitch right in that cap band that we have right here. So I have 1, 2, and then I'm just going to end where my stitch marker is. So just to continue off, I'm almost at the end. Bring my band through. I'm going to go in that cap band just to have a clean finish and do the same thing. And the same thing where my stitch marker is. This is my last one. So I just brought a band through, and now I'm just going to bring my band through all of the loops and do a slip knot to tie it closed. What you could do is do the same half double crochet and then just use another band, but I don't really think it's necessary. And you're going to remove your stitch marker. Now what you're going to Now we're going to stitch our headpiece together. So you're going to use about 25 pink bands or black or whatever color you're using. You're going to see your headpiece is going to curl up. This is the part where we're going to fold in half and sew together. So not this piece. We're going to turn it around. And I'm going to fold this in half and just single crochet all the way down. So you're going to go through your 2 chains on either side. So you can see I went through all the chain, the pink there, and you're just going to crochet. So we're folding this in half and sewing it together all the way. So you're just going to go through the chain. You can see I have 4 little loops. The next chain, 4 little loops, and bring your band through those loops on your hook and side. And you're just doing this all the way down. You can see how it's forming. Go through all the chains on either side, making sure it's even. And I think you can pause the video and continue all the way down. I'll come back for the last one and we'll do a slip knot together. So now I just have like the last chain to go through. And I'm just going to take my band and do a slip knot. So just bringing it through all of the chains, grabbing my end and tying it off. And now you can put this to the side, but this is what it should look like. Next, I'm going to show you how to do the goggle strap. For mine, I am going to have pink, but in the video, I'm going to show you with black. Just kind of cheating and taking a piece of the video clip from my other Minions. So ahead of time, pick the color that you would like to use. So I'm going to do a chain of 33. So I have 10, 20, 30, 3. You're going to take one band and cap this around your hook 3 times. So 1, 2, and 3. Now just doing a chain with 33 bands. So your length should be 33 when you're done. So just slide. So just a chain of 33. Make sure it's not twisted. So if your bands are twisted, you want to just make sure that you're fixing them up after. So this is what you should have. If you do have any twisted bands, just untwist your bands just by moving them around. And then it should be straight. Now what we're going to do is attach the strap together. So you want to put your hook through those 3 loops that you made a cap band at the end. You want to make sure that the ring is even to like straight, not twisted. So put it flat, form a circle, put your hook through those 3 loops, and now you're going to bring a band through these 2 loops to do a slip stitch. What we're doing is 32 single crochets and we're going to do a reverse stitch. So take your first band, bring it through all of the loops that are on your hook, grab the end and then slide. And attach your stitch marker to the band that's around your hook. Now we're going to go reverse. So normally we would go this way. I'm just going to go the opposite way in the center of each of these chains around, just doing a single crochet, bringing one band through. And keep an eye on it. Next chain with 1, keep an eye on it that it's not twisting on you. And the reason why we are doing a reverse stitch is so that when we get back to the end, it's straight. Otherwise, it will be 1 up, 1 down. It won't match up. So just 1 band all the way around. And then we're going to do this one more time with a second round. So this is round 2, by the way. This is what's happening so far, what it looks like. You just want to go all the way to your stitch, before your stitch marker. That first band was our first stitch. Did I not count the bands right? My bands. So now you ended at your, sorry about that. Now you ended where your stitch marker is. You want to remove that stitch marker and add it to the band that's around your hook. So going in the same direction, we're going to do 34 single crochets, not 39. I'm sorry about that. So you're going to go in the same direction around, and you're going to start where your stitch, your cap band is. So I'm just going to put my hook right through the center of it, the circle, and bring my band through just that cap band on my hook and slide. Now I'm going to find my next stitch, which is right here. Excuse me. I'm going to put my hook through. And continuing around. So you should be using 34 bands. Your last band, you're doing a slip knot to tie it closed. So I'm just going through the chains all the way around. I'm at the last band. I'm going to bring it through. I'm before the stitch marker. I'm going to bring it through all of the loops that are on my hook and slide. And pull that and remove the stitch marker. You don't need it anymore. And then you can hide all these bands now or after the slip knot now. But this is what you should have. Now we're going to do the little pocket, and it's going to look like this, and then we'll attach later onto the dress. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start off with a cap band wrapped around my hook 2 times. So just go around twice, 1 and 2 with a single band. Now you're going to make a chain of 2. So bring your cap band on the band and your end on the hook. So there's your cap band and your first band, first chain. Now to do another chain. So now I have a chain of 2. The next little section, what I'm going to do is I have 3 bands on top here. These 3 bands are going to go in my first chain. Then I have 5 bands here, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and they're going to go inside the cap band, these 2 little loops here. So when going backwards on a chain, what you're going to do is keep these 2 bands on your hook and kind of just hold your cap band here. And you're going to bring your hook inside the chain. And you're going to do 3 single crochets in that one chain. So bring 1 band through your chain on your hook. So you have 4 loops and slide. Now you want to go back inside that chain again to do a second single crochet. Bring it through on your hook and slide. So I just did 2 single crochets. We need to do 1 more in that same chain. Go back in. I'm holding on to the cap band to bring it through on your hook and slide. So I just did the 3 single crochets. Now find your cap band and you want to go through the cap band and do 5 single crochets just through the cap band. So going through the cap band on my hook and slide, go back in that same cap band, that first band that we wrapped around our hook twice, and you're going to go again. I just did 2. This is 3, back in, 4, and 1 more, 5. So I just did 5 single crochets in that cap band. Now you're going to find your chain right here. If you open it up, you're going to see that chain right here. That's where we put the 3 single crochets on this side. You want to go in your next chain over here. You don't want to go in the same one where we had these 3 bands. So you're going inside here and you're going to do 2 single crochets. Back in that same chain. So now you should have 10 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10 is on your hook. We're going to close this off now with a single band. So I'm going to go in my next chain, not where it's getting pulled, and I'm going to do a slip knot to tie this closed. So you're going to bring it through all of the loops that are on your hook, grab your end, and tie off. And this is our little pocket. So you want to put this to the side without losing this piece.